Hello, welcome to another episode of theafropix.com. Today's discussion is going to be revolving around a film called Sankofa. I don't know if you've already seen it, but Sankofa debuted in 1993 and it was written, directed, and produced by Holly Garima. It's a very good movie. Basically, the movie is about an African American model who is doing a very sensual photo shoot at an old slave fortress in Ghana, West Africa. And while she's there, she's pretty much unaware of the implications of why she's there. She's very much self-absorbed and she's lost. But it isn't until that she's condemned by a Sankofa that the movie starts to progress her spiritual development. And basically, a Sankofa in the movie is a self-appointed protectorate or protector of the spirits of the slaves who were captured there. I really hope I got that right. But anyway, throughout the movie, there's several things that I that resonated well with me. The first thing that I noticed was the importance of being self-aware and recognizing when you're being exploited. The importance of not being content with adversity and fear of taking action because you're afraid of the unknown. That was the first thing that I noticed. The second thing that I noticed was the whole house slave versus field slave tool or tactic as a way of dividing and conquering. And in the movie, the way that the movie unfolds is basically not so much about skin tone, but it's more so about mental domination, the mind tricks that were played by the slave masters and onto the slaves themselves. That's the second thing that I noticed. The third thing that I noticed was the detriment of people when their language, their culture, and their religion is stripped away. And we see that even today. Nowadays, voodoo, as an indigenous African religion, is still demonized even today. But in all actuality, voodoo was a way for the slaves to basically just also reconnect with their past and also to overcome the current adversities that they were facing at that particular moment in time. The model in the movie, who is doing the sensuous photo shoot at this fortress in Ghana, she's unaware of what's going on around her and all the bad things that had happened there. She's condemned by a Sankofa, and when she decides to go off on her own time and explore the fortress out of curiosity. And when she does, she's transported back in time as though she was a slave who was about to be carried off to a ship to go to the Americas. And while she's there, she's being held against her will. Her clothes are stripped away from her, and she's branded. And when she receives that burning singe in her skin, she's further then transported to the Americas as a slave named Shola. And we see throughout the movie, as the movie progresses, that she is no longer a slave who is content with being continuously raped and physically abused and oppressed. But then she sums up the muster and all the courage to kill her oppressor. So this movie, even though it's about slavery, is not a movie about sadness. It's a movie very much about being victorious and being self-aware and recognize the importance of the power that your ancestors have in your life. And what else did I want to discuss? Hmm. Oh, the movie discusses like the psychological mind tricks that the slave masters played with their slaves. And when I say that, I mean that it wasn't so much about the whole light skin, dark skin phenomenon. It was more so about, like, for example, making somebody who was light with their own mother who was dark because she tried to run away. It's like nobody wants to do that. Why would you make somebody do that? But that's kind of a mind trick. One of the mind tricks that was served as an example in the movie. And also another thing that I wanted to discuss in the movie was basically the destruction of family ties and bonds within the black family. And I'm curious to know how that is still played out even in today's society. Do you think that the way slaves were handled back then, as far as like separating, dividing, and conquering each and every way, skin color, man against woman, etc., do you think that those nuances are still being carried out in the way that we carry ourselves as black people today in America? I'm just curious. I don't know. So anyway, another theme, well, not a theme, but basically also the movie was very laden with symbolism. The color red was being worn by the Maroons, and red is symbolic of passion, power, blood. I noticed that. The second symbol that I noticed was, it wasn't so much a symbol, but it was a saying that basically right before the Maroons decided to rebel against the plantation owners, one of the main Maroons, I think his name was Shango, he was a lover of Shola, but Shango would say, "The snake shall have whatever is in the belly of the frog." And that took me a long time to kind of figure out what that meant. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think that means you shall reap what you sow. And there's a time and place for everything under the sun. I think that's what he was saying, but I might be wrong. Who knows? So anyway, the movie ends with a happy ending. It's a very beautiful ending. Basically, the camera, after Shola overcomes her fear and kills her oppressor, and all the slaves have an uprising against the plantation owners, and they free themselves, we see that Shola is transported back to where she is in modern day society. And the camera pans over all these people who look different, who are black, but who look different. And they all comprise the African diaspora. They're light, they're dark, they have, African features, European features, Native American features. They're all mixed, but you can tell that they're all a part of the tapestry that makes the African diaspora. And while they're sitting there, they're watching the sunrise and they're watching a buzzard fly into the sunset. A buzzard was an anthropomorphized spirit that was a guardian for the souls to, take them to rest. So anyway, we see that, throughout the movie, well, not throughout the movie, but at the end of the movie, everybody is sitting there watching the sunset, and all these people who have probably been just as self-absorbed as Shola was, now you see them that they probably took the same kind of approach and the same spiritual journey, and they have a deeper sense of self-knowledge and self-awareness. So I really, really love this movie. It's really good. You should check it out whenever you get the time. It's called Sankofa, and it's written, directed, and produced by Haile Garim. Well, that's about it. Until next time, y'all, I hope that you are blessed and highly favored, and I will see you again. Thank you so much.